matter what we do. But I think that if a few children can get headlines all over the world just by not going to school for a few weeks, imagine what we could do together if we wanted to. Every single person counts, just like every single emission counts. Every single kilogram. Everything counts. So please, treat the climate crisis like the acute crisis it is and give us a future. Our lives are in your hands. Almost everything is black and white. Declaration of Rebellion, Extinction Rebellion. Parliament Square, London, 31st of October, 2018. When I was about 8 years old, I first heard about something called climate change or global warming. Apparently that was something humans had created by our way of living. I was told to turn off the lights to save energy and to recycle paper to save resources. I remember thinking that it was very strange that humans, who are an animal species among others, could be capable of changing the Earth's climate. Because if we were, and if it was really happening, we wouldn't be talking about anything else. As soon as you turned on the TV, everything would be about that. Headlines, radio, newspapers. You would never read or hear about anything else. As if there was a world war going on. But no one talked about it, ever. If burning fossil fuels was so bad that it threatened our very existence, how could we just continue like before? Why were there no restrictions? Why wasn't it made illegal? To me, that did not add up. It was too unreal. I have Asperger's syndrome, and to me, almost everything is black or white. I think in many ways we autistic are the normal ones, and the rest of the people are pretty strange. They keep saying that climate change is an existential threat and the most important issue of all. And yet they just carry on like before. If the emissions have to stop, then we must stop the emissions. To me, that is black or white. There are no grey areas when it comes to survival. Either we go on as a civilization, or we don't. We have to change. Countries like Sweden and the UK need to start reducing emissions by at least 15% every year to stay below a 2 degrees of warming target. Now the IPCC says that aiming instead for a 1.5 degrees of warming limit would significantly reduce the climate impact. But we can only imagine what that means for reducing emissions. You would think every one of our leaders and the media would be talking about nothing else. But no one ever mentions it. Nor does anyone ever mention anything about the greenhouse gases already locked in the system. Nor that air pollution is hiding a warming. So when we stop burning fossil fuels, we already have an extra level of warming, perhaps as high as 0.5 to 1.1 degrees Celsius guaranteed. Nor does hardly anyone ever mention that we are in the midst of the 6th mass extinction, with about 200 species going extinct every single day. Furthermore, does no one ever speak about the aspect of equity or climate justice, clearly stated everywhere in the Paris Agreement and the Kyoto Protocol. It is absolutely necessary to make the Paris Agreement work on a global scale. That means that rich countries need to get down to zero emissions within 6 to 12 years at current emission speed, so that people in poorer countries can heighten their standard of living by building some of the infrastructure that we have already built, such as roads, hospitals, electricity, schools, and clean drinking water.